Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms. These are Charter Moms chats, and believe it or not, it's enrollment season already for the 2024-25 school year. So we're featuring some of our favorite schools on our social media accounts, and today we get to talk with the leaders of Prelude Prep, which is an amazing small charter school on the Southside of San Antonio. So let me introduce our guests. So on the far side of the screen for me is Laura Rangel, and she is the principal at Prelude Prep. And in the middle of the screen is Lauren Lewis, and she is the founder and superintendent of Prelude Prep. And I remember talking to Lauren when this was just a brainstorm, and now it's serving grades pre-K through 4, which is really amazing. So welcome to Charter Moms Chats.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Inga.
So, okay, so for people who have not heard of Prelude Prep before, what do they need to know about the mission and vision of Prelude Prep?
Sure. So, prelude actually means the introduction and the beginning. And so, for us, that introduction and beginning is building an incredibly strong foundation for our students. So, when they leave us at the end of eighth grade, the door is open to a future of possibilities, that they have a strong foundation that will prepare them for anything going forward, but also that they build the skills to become leaders in their community. And so, Prelude, we are literally trying to build a strong foundation for all of our students for success in life.
That's great. I think talking about Prelude as the beginning and talking about the foundational skills, like that's so important. And one of the things that parents in our Facebook group are often asking about is they want to know the academics, and they want to know in even in detail, like what's the reading curriculum, what's the math curriculum. So I know from when I visited the campus, I'm just so impressed with what the teachers are doing with the students, especially on those core subjects like reading, writing, and math. So can you talk more about the academics at Prelude Prep?
Sure. So in our pre-K level, we have a curriculum. We use teaching strategies, the creative curriculum, which is all investigation based. So our students learn through hands-on investigation. So they're always going to have a topic that they can explore, such as simple machines, where they can find simple machines in real life. So they'll never have a topic like dinosaurs, even though kids are fascinated by them because they can't actually go and touch and explore dinosaurs. So on our most basic level for our students, it's hands-on and investigation-based. When you get into kindergarten, our curriculum is based on building knowledge. And so you become better readers and better writers when you have knowledge of the world. And so every unit is a theme. So we may be zoologists or entomologists, or we may be studying about plants or animals. And our students do that through research-based projects, and they have differentiated texts based on their level. So no matter what reading level they're at, they can still answer those research-based questions. They can still do writing prompts and use those books to help them in their research process. We also, because we are so foundational, do spend a lot of time on phonics and decoding and decodable texts, because in order to be able to read and learn about the world, you have to have those basic skills as well. And we do small group rotations, so we're able to work with students on exactly the skills that they need in order to move up. And every student has their own goal that they're working on. And so the teachers either work with students based on their goal or one-to-one, depending on what their need is during that rotation time. We do use Eureka Math. So it is a very hands-on conceptual math program that our students really enjoy. Our writing is integrated within our reading program. Much of it is research-based and or responding to writing through narratives or expository text and those kinds of questions. And then science, our students go to a specialized science class. So every day they go to science, and we use PhD science, which is also a very hands-on curriculum. And our students love going to science with their science teacher every single day. And so if we can learn about the world and build knowledge about that, then we know our students will become better readers and writers, and then have a strong foundation going forward.
Oh, Lauren, I think you should also share about our play-based centers.
So we also know academics are incredibly important, But we also know kids are 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and they need to play and they need to be kids. And so instead of going all academic or all play based, we combine both. So also in the school day, our students do have, in our lights, we have automatic lights and we haven't moved. So they just went out. Sorry about that. There they go. My apologies. So throughout our day,
Just keeping it green, right?
Our students do have 2 recesses each day to help break up the time and break up the learning, but we also have 45 minutes of play-based centers built into their day. So you'll find in our classrooms a dramatic play center with a kitchen and dress up. You'll find blocks and building and Legos and connects. You'll find art supplies. You'll find paints and pipe cleaners and baby dolls and sand and water table. And our students get to choose where they want to play each day. And they're building relationships with their friends. They're working on social emotional skills. We're learning when we are angry and we want to play, how to regulate ourselves, how to take turns, how to not throw that block across the room when we're upset. And it allows our teachers to bond with our students as well and build relationships. So we do think it's incredibly important to have a balanced education, to be very strong academically, but also understand that kids are kids and these are their prime years, and play is a vehicle for learning. And so we love that we offer both of those and that you don't have to take away one in order to have the other.
Yeah, well, Lauren, that's really important information. I just came back from a conference where they were, talking about the importance of, like, as kids are learning to read, they need all that rich knowledge, and that it's really important to not just like kind of wave your hands over the book or say, oh, we love books, but like really break it down so that they know how to decode those words. And so, like, you teach them the phonics skills, you give them decodable readers, right? Books that are at the right level. And then what you're talking about with like small group and one-on-one, like that's how you make sure that no kids are falling behind, that they're all getting the preparation they need. And then, it's going to get, they're going to be expected to soak up more and more knowledge. And that's why, like, having those science classes are so important, because like they're building the reading skills, and then they get to science class, they get to do fun hands-on stuff, but they're also like applying the reading skills that they've learned.
Yes.
Yeah, and Laura, I'm glad you brought up about the play-based stuff, because like I remember from visiting the classroom, like the centers are just packed with good stuff, and the teachers, they're always like changing out the materials periodically, right? So the kids find there's like new invitations for them to find ways to play, and that is how they build their relationships and learn how to cooperate with each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So okay, so you talked about like the reading, writing, and math, and you talked about science, but there's also there's art and music too, right?
Yeah, so absolutely. So we love that we have such a strong academic program, but like Lauren said, there's other components, and so we also offer music, we also offer art, we also offer the play-based centers, and so we have the art centers in the classrooms in the centers, but we also have our art class and we also have our music class, and so our kiddos go to music class and they learn how to play the instruments and they learn how to read music, and they have concerts every semester, and so they're so excited to learn those things, and they have those skills, and they're dancing and they're learning those movements, and they're so excited to show their art pieces, and they're going to concerts, and they're being exposed to those things, and so it's really great to see that. And then when they're going to science class and they're doing those experiments, and they're making those connections that they're learning in the classroom, they're learning in music, and they're learning in science, all of those connections that they're learning all day long, it's just great experiences for them. And so it's just an enrich-filled day for them from the time they walk in to the time that they leave.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. Well, so I wanted to ask more about so the campus location. It's on the south side of San Antonio, and I was wondering if you could comment on like how you guys have built connections with the community and responding to the needs and interests of the students that come to Prelude Prep.
Yeah, so we are on the south side of San Antonio, and so really we had to just get out into the community. We did a lot of block walking. We went out to over 20,000 houses since May, and we've just gotten out into the community and just met a lot of families. We've gotten into a lot of parks and just met a lot of people that way, into local events. And we've also just, gotten to know a lot of people. We've also made some connections with our local businesses. We know that we have a lot of factories nearby. And so we know that a lot of our workers and community members go into work really early. And so we offer morning care so that they're able to go to work early in the morning. And they also stay really late. So we offer after school care. And so we know that there's some certain needs in our area. And so we're able to meet those needs so that they can go to work and their kids can go to school. And so, we're always trying to meet the needs of our kids and also meet the needs of our families.
Yeah, well, I think it's so important what you guys are doing because it's providing educational opportunity in parts of town that maybe even historically underserved. And I know that you guys don't have like an official school report card yet because the kids are so young they weren't in tested grades. But I think that you're probably already looking at data of like the progress the students are making that that there's really good elements to what you're doing. So the results are going to be there down the road, and that's going to open doors for these kids in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know that the campus that y'all are in is so interesting because it's a historic building, and you guys are like adapting it for the ages of kids, right? Because you started out with like very young kids, and there's bigger and bigger kids, and it seems like whenever I visit the campus, there's like either like the car line is under construction, or there's like new buildings going up in the back of the property. So what's happening on campus right now as far as construction?
Sure. So we are finishing our final phase of phase 2 construction. And so we have a new perimeter road that goes around our entire building to make our drop-off lane much longer. And we have a new 12 classroom wing that we hope to occupy at the beginning of November that has additional 12 classrooms for us and restrooms and more space for us. And so we've slowly built out our campus. So we started with the basic structure that was all here. So if you're on the south side, everybody knows where St. Anthony Daycare used to be. So that is now the Prelude Prep building. And we've just slowly expanded it to accommodate our student population. And then in the future, we'll have another phase of construction as we prepare to open our middle school, because eventually we will go to 8th grade. And so even while it's under construction, we have our perimeter roads open. We're redoing some existing parking lots and those kinds of structures that just needed some repair. But we are open, even though it looks like, there will be cones, just park along the street and you can walk over. But hopefully by November, this phase of construction will be completely finished, and then we'll gear up to begin our next phase.
Wow, that's exciting. And the kids do have outdoor play spaces, even while the construction is going on, right? They've got like playgrounds, and they can get in the dirt a little bit.
Yeah, actually, I'd love to play in the dirt. And we have our playground is treed. There are so many trees, so it's really nice, especially because it's so hot. Once you get under those trees, it really does change the temperature. So it's been great to be able to have the kids outside, even in this extreme heat that we've had recently.
Yeah, that's really a gift. Having a property that's been an education facility for so long means having mature trees. And yeah, shade is essential when you've had a summer as hot as what we've had this year. Yeah, well, good. Okay, so you mentioned about the expanding up to middle school, but so I just want to, so currently y'all serve grades pre-K through 4, right?
Yes.
Are there any openings in the current grades?
We have some openings in our kinder through 4th grade, very few. And we don't currently have any in our pre-K, but we do have a waiting list because you never know if somebody moves or a spot will open up. But we do have a few seats available for this year as well.
Okay. And then the goal is for next year that the 4th graders will go up to 5th grade, right? And then a new crop of pre-K students will come in. So, okay. Yeah, that's great. Wow. It's the idea of Prelude Prep middle school is kind of blowing my mind, but that's really exciting though. And I know in the blog post I'll need an update from you about the middle school curriculum when we get there, because I don't think we covered that yet in the blog post. So but we'll get to that. So next year it'll be up to 5th grade. So okay, well, yeah. And before we close out, I want to ask you about like enrollment dates and stuff like that. But before we do that, I want you guys to share like stories about like, talking to, like maybe things like you've observed or that his teachers have told you about, like, because we talked about the academics, but like I want people to get an impression of what the school culture is like at Prelude Prep.
I think for us, we're just always looking for ways to celebrate our kids and just have celebrations. And I think for us, really, it's just about our daily celebrations. And so every morning we have our morning lunch with our students. And so every morning at breakfast, we meet with our kiddos. And so every morning our students, oh, there we go again. Your turn. Every morning our teachers give shine or praise to our students, and they shout out a student who's doing really well, and they just give them that praise, and it's a great way to start the day. And so then after that, all day long, our teachers are giving points or positive points to our students, and then at the end of the week, our students are cashing out their points and buying things from our school store, our Panther store. And so our kids are all week long, they're just excited to be here, they're excited to get their points, they're excited to see their teachers. And so then also we have our attendance parties at the end of the week. And so they're here all week, they're getting their positive points. And so everybody's just happy because they're getting rewarded for being here, for just being at school. And so it's just a positive experience for everybody. And so I think that's just part of our culture. It's just being here and celebrating being part of school and learning. And so that's really what we're about. It's the culture of our school. It's just learning, being here, and celebrating our students and having a great time learning.
Right. We celebrate behaviors that help improve academic and personal achievement. And so when our students are persisting through a challenge, we'll say, you know what, you're trying so hard, you're persisting, you aren't giving up, you have determination. And so they're building that self-confidence as we go. But we also are building skills to help become a community leader and to take care of our community. So all the students have jobs at lunch, and at the end of lunch, it's their job to make sure that their table is wiped down with a cloth of water, and they look on the floor and there's little brooms. So if they've spilled their lunch on the floor, they help sweep it up. And so we're building that community where we take pride in our school and we clean up after ourselves, and they love it. They think it's great, but they're excited to learn and they're excited to be here, and we're excited to have them. And so when a student comes up to us and tells us, I had a great day, I was having a hard time in math, but I persisted and I kept going, that they're really learning, and they're learning how to take control of their own success.
Yeah. And so what Laura was talking about the positive points, like I'm such a believer in the positive reinforcement. And if there's too much of the negative, like it like kids can feel bad about themselves, or they don't want to take a risk, they don't want to try. And so if you keep reinforcing the positive, I think that's great. And also I know from talking to many school leaders that it seems like attendance habits aren't the same as what they were maybe 5 years ago, or maybe before the pandemic. And so making a conscious talking about the importance of attendance, because when kids miss school, they're missing concepts. And with things like phonics or like the Eureka math, like everything builds on something else. And so if a child misses too much time from school, like they're not going to be able to progress with their classmates. So so Lauren, it's like you said, you want to recognize positive things, but it's things that drive learning. So whether it's attendance or overcoming a difficult task, and persisting and being resilient, like those are such good habits. And if kids can learn those young, that's going to carry them up through middle school, up through high school, and wherever they need to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, great. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing about the school culture. I want to make sure we talk about like the basics. So hopefully families, even if they haven't heard of Prelude Prep before, they're listening to this and they're like, "Wow, this sounds like a really interesting school." Like, so what should they do to get more information about Prelude Prep? Maybe they need to come for a tour, or they want to fill out their application.
Sure. So if you go online to our website, preludeprep.org, there are multiple ways to contact us. So you can schedule a tour, you can fill out an application, you can fill out an interest form, you can messenger chat us, that you can also call or text us on our school phone number. So if you are more of a texter and you don't want to make a phone call, text the office, we'll get back to you. You can make a phone call, we'll call you back. So there are multiple ways to get in touch with us, and the minute you do, we'll reach back out to you. And you can just go on the calendar and schedule a tour. And if one of those times don't work for you, let us know and we can accommodate your schedule.
So for folks listening on the podcast instead of the video, the number that I have put up on the screen is 210-780-7661. But like Lauren said, call or text that number. The website is preludeprep.org. And there's a contact form on that page, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So that's a good way to go. And then I want to make sure people are aware. So right now we're doing this interview live. It's September 28th. So anybody seeing it on September 28th, there's open enrollment hasn't started yet for the 2024-25 school year, but it will start on November 1st, right?
Yes.
Okay. And they'll be able to apply for anything from pre-K5 up through 5th grade, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. And like you said, so pre-K is currently full, but you are running a waiting list for it in case a spot opens up. And there are limited spots for the current school year in K through 4th grade, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so so I'll be reminding people in the Facebook group about when that November 1st date hits and they can start getting their applications in. And we'll also remind people as it gets close to January 31st, like, hey, it's best to get your application in before the end of open enrollment, in case they do need to run a lottery. Your best chance is applying during open enrollment. So is there anything else related to like enrollment or is there like a certain cycle that you'll do the tours on, or is it but you're able to be flexible, right?
We're flexible. Just it's on Calendly, so just pick a date and a time.
So whatever date and time's open and it works for you, schedule it and come on in.
Yeah. Well, I want to reinforce, like, it's like we can talk about Prelude Prep, but it's really like seeing is believing, to see like how just how happy the kids are, and you can tell how dedicated your teachers are, and just like how like orderly but also beautiful the classrooms are, and just how inviting all the materials are, and what a great site it is. Historic tree, big trees, historic building, but also like you guys have put so much work into making the space really functional and really welcoming.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, great. Well, y'all are doing great work, and I know you're so busy because here we have the principal and the superintendent, and you guys also wear all these hats. Like you're the ones working the tables at our school discovery days, right? And like you guys do so much stuff.
Nice seeing you.
Yes. Oh,
well, I enjoyed catching up with you too. Yes, and please say hello to Carmen.
We will.
When we get off there. Okay. Okay. Well, Lauren, thank you so much for joining me on Charter Moms Chats, and have a great evening.
Thank you,
Bye,
Inga.
Inga.
Bye.
All right, take care.